Maybe it's the Mississippi mud, or maybe it's the river, but Mississippi is like coming home. With all of her natural resources, vast beauty, and diverse cultures, she is rich. The famous river with bends and surprises, source of much history and many tales, the magic of Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, the great historical battles. Mississippi is also the cradle of wonderful American literature and music. Authors like William Faulkner found inspiration. Eudora Welty reflected on her town's quiet charm. Muddy Waters sang and played the soulful rhythms of his birth, and Elvis Presley launched a musical tradition. The unique richness of Mississippi also inspired visual artists. James Audubon was one of the first, with his detailed nature studies of wondrous birds. The mad potter of Biloxi, George Orr, and his convoluted tissue-thin pottery. Marie Hull, who brought avant-garde expressionist influences to Mississippi. And then the genius of Walter Anderson, who gave the world his colorful nature-based explosions on typing paper and plaster walls. What more fertile ground could there be for an art colony? The early history of Mississippi Art Colony revolves around a place called Allison's Wells. The property, which later became known as a weekend resort, was part of the 960-acre William Lambert Plantation. In 1876, the property was sold by the county to Mrs. Mary B. Allison of New Orleans, the high bidder at $3.35 per acre. By 1878, Mrs. Allison had built a spacious home and a heavy wooded property. She hired a man named Parson Hargan to dig a well. After a great deal of effort, the hand-dug shaft was completed in 1879. And although the water that flowed from deep inside the roan-colored earth was crystal clear, it tasted strange, medicinal. A bright red hand pump was installed over the well opening, from which came a sparkling, bubbling, ice-cold water. It was reported quite palatable at the well. John and Hosford Fontaine bought the spa in 1930. They were energetic and inventive, always the gracious hosts. They were the kind of people who not only made the visitors feel welcome, but made them feel good about themselves for having come. The first art colony met there in 1948 with Carl Wolf as the director. The theme was to teach, to explore, to work, to learn, and not to copy, in spite of the Picasso quote, "Good artists copy, great artists steal." And then in 1963, disaster struck and Allison Wells burned to the ground. That same year, the colony moved to Stafford Springs, near Heidelberg, Mississippi. Lala Perry was the interim director. After a brief stint, and 7 years, the colony moved to the old Pinehurst Hotel. In 1970, the Mississippi Art Colony found its present home, Camp Henry S. Jacobs, near Utica, Mississippi. And boys, it's been good.
And people say it's like a family. Without Art Colony, I wouldn't be where I am today with my art. Meeting the teachers and things I've learned, inspiration like Michael Crespo, Hugh Williams, Jerry Allen, just unlimited numbers of them.
I'm going to Mississippi, going to Mississippi. I'm going to Mississippi, going to Mississippi. I'm going to Mississippi.
Currently, our artist instructors teach 5-day sessions. They begin with a check-in and meet and greet. Then there's usually talk and a dinner. Then the week begins, and it's filled with daytime work sessions in all kinds of weather, and evenings, which are pretty much social times and often lectures. The last event of the session is a farewell banquet with the instructor and a big reveal of works that will travel the state until the next meeting. This is our colony traveling show. Well, now that you know our secret, Hope to see you either there or at one of our shows.
What's the best thing about Colony? The best thing about Colony is hanging out with my friends. And the worst part is
Pat making announcements.